facts which are quite obvious and the things women face on day-to-day basis are, challenges, the ceiling, you're a woman, you're already, seen in a certain way and stuff. But sometimes there's what we call conscious bias, coming from the person who does not know. And there's also the one that comes from the individual themselves. So you use the NHS as an example. On the records, I work for NHS, so maybe I pick that question. And my point is this. From a social construct view, if you live in a predominantly white society, Caucasian, 90% Caucasian community, where everybody has equal opportunities, if you do a random sampling, the potential is that majority of the sampling will be white. It's not a bias. And in my other life, I'm doing a PhD in sociology, so maybe that's why I'm coming from, that social construct. That sometimes what we actually try to identify as bias is actually the reality of the environment in which we live in. Statistically, it is not a bias. It is the reality of the day. And I think a lot of people take that on when they come here with what I call a bit of sense of entitlement. And you also raised the idea of being used as to dress the window. So do you want to be put into the place because you're black to represent the minority blacks, or because you're actually qualified? That's my first question to you. To Lida. No, yeah, to Lida. I'm a bit in between the terms you use. And first and foremost, I need to make this assertion. I owe Nigeria nothing. Nigeria owes me. Yeah, everybody would laugh. They didn't send me to school. They didn't pay my tuition. They didn't pay for my healthcare. It was all private. So I don't owe the country owes me. My fathers, the great-grandfathers, they went to school on scholarship. I did not. At 36, Buhari probably had about 6 scholarships he had enjoyed for, and he was a minister. I did not get that from that country. So sometimes let's be fair to ourselves when we put too much pressure on young people. I'm not a youth, I'm a young person. And when you put so much pressure on those people that the state has done absolutely nothing for, you don't expect them to save the state. I think sometimes that criticism is a bit unfair. It's very harsh. These are not youths born in Silicon Valley. They're not the same youths in London with the tools, with the right environment, with proper social welfare, the ability to reason outside of their box. So sometimes I think we're a bit too unfair. And also the diaspora owes Nigeria nothing. Again, I'll say that. Nigeria owes itself. You get my point. The amount of money that went missing in Nigeria in a couple of years is equal to the amount of IMF loan bailout for some countries in Europe. If it goes missing in some European countries, they would crash. So, do you expect these young people who are not responsible for stealing their future to also be blamed for the failure of their future? I think it's unfair on those young people. And that's, I would probably take it back. I went to school in Nigeria, student union leader, dropped out, failed. I know what I'm saying. When I say proper failed, I came here in the first class. The state doesn't, the state owes me as a Nigerian. Until we get that and we demand that, then the young people may begin to suffer for long because they keep being repressed to say, you're not up to standard, you cannot. Buhari and Co, they didn't go to leadership schools because they took over at the age of 30-something. Why was we subjected to leadership schools and now are we of their age? I'm so sorry about this thing.
That was quite long.
Sorry, just before, let's try to keep the questions a bit brief because we have loads of questions. So we would have more discussions in the next, towards the end. But let's try to keep the questions a bit brief. 1 minute, and to you as well. So, 1-2 minutes for each of the questions. I believe you want to take all the questions together. So if you would, remember all the questions, and I think that's the best thing to do, because I know there are like 5 different people who want to ask questions. So let's take the questions together and let's answer them subsequently. Here you go.
Okay, I was just telling him, if we all see things the way he's saying it, Nigeria will keep like getting worse than what it is, and there will never be progress. And moreover, for Nigeria to actually get better, it should be we believing Nigeria is our country, seeing it as our personal thing, and then really wanting to work towards it. If everybody keeps pushing it like, oh, whatever they want to do, they should do. Everybody is entitled to scholarships and all, but it's quite unfortunate that when you went to school, all those things were in existence. I don't know where you went to school, but at this stage, they still give scholarships in some government schools in Nigeria.
What percentage?
I don't know. Probably you were. I don't know. Maybe you didn't meet it in your own tenure. But the truth is, if we all start seeing it like, oh, they didn't give us scholarships, they didn't do this, Nigeria will keep getting worse and worse, and then we'll all be here saying, oh, Nigeria is bad, the president is this. What have we done to actually make Nigeria better? We all sit in our homes and say, oh, the president said we did this. Okay, the other day they were stoning the governor of Imo State for speaking. If you stone him, has he changed anything? No. You just stoned him and that's it. He goes back, does what he wants to do, eats the money, and then everyone will just be here. Oh, he's eating money. They arrested these people. Buhari is going around arresting the whole Nigeria. Has he solved anything? They are still there. Everything just keeps getting bad because we don't want to make efforts. We just sit down and say, oh, Nigeria is... Most times, okay, like when I came here new, you ask a Nigerian, where are you from? She'll be like, originally. What's the originality? Where are you from? What is your state of origin? I'm Nigerian. You don't need to, oh, originally. And I'm like, okay, artificially. And that's like, oh, I'm from London. Where are your parents? They are in Nigeria. How long have you been in London? 2 years. Why are you officially from London? That's not identity. That's just we not being proud of us.
Let's give a round of applause, please. 1 minute, please. 1 minute.
I'll try. Madam, I like your spirit. Thank you very much. And I don't like your spirit. Because you're the kind of person that will discourage me for what I'm doing. Some of you might know me from Arsenal Fan TV. And yes, I'm the Nigerian that is always praying and speaking in Igbo and doing stuff. So, but the problem is, just going on Amina's, one of her slides said, she said the stereotype kind of, you insinuated we should dodge stereotypes. If they suspect the stereotype that you touch money, leave the money. I don't subscribe to that. I understand what you mean, but that's what we're trying to fight, you know. I speak with my Nigerian accent in Arsenal. So let's say, fam, we don't understand, but we still love you. I can't change for you. I'm in Nigeria, I'm full-blooded Nigeria, no time. So if you don't understand it, just try, play slowly. You understand? I can rewind it small and listen to it. That's your business. You understand? And for my chairman here, you know, I'm about running up my PhD as well, self-sponsored. Nobody sponsored me, no scholarship. But that will make me improve my country. That is so wrong. The mentality is so wrong. I'm sorry, I don't apologize. Your mentality is so wrong that, to be honest, I don't think I want to be associated with people like you. That is that bad. Because you can't come to a public place. I mean, your first comment was brilliant, yeah? But the second one, you're just talking about they don't owe you nothing. Nah, man, no first thing.
Okay, yeah, I do. So once again, I understand we have political affiliations, but this is not Ogbeni Dipo at the moment. This is Dr. Dipo Awojide. So we'll discuss about politics afterwards. Let's try to keep it decent, please. Thank you.
No. Well, if that's the case, you know, I just wanted to ask him, you know, if we don't fix it, who will? If you have that mentality.
Well, I think I have a panel of.
Okay, 30 seconds of talking, please.
Anyone can answer this question. I'm just a bit, how to say, I have this problem with, it's everywhere, it's both with the race thing and also with the feminism thing. It's like we're moving from one extreme to the other. I do agree with you that yeah, in the past and probably till now, women have been suppressed by men. I do agree with you. But it seems with all the things coming up, it's like we're moving from one extreme to the other. So the other day I was discussing with a friend of mine, I'm like, very soon men too will start asking for their rights too, because yeah, and it's the same thing with the race thing too. Whilst I agree that blacks have been suppressed for so long, again, now it's even difficult for someone to describe me as a black man. They start looking for, oh, it's African American, I'm sorry, African, whatever, but you don't say, oh, it's black. It's difficult. Even now I hear the band singing Baba Black Sheep in schools. Why? Just because of the word. So it's like we're moving from one crazy part. So what do you think, how do you think we can strike that balance, especially with our STD?
Okay, so